Yes, Bhante. How do wholesome deeds affect our meditation?
How wholesome deeds affect our meditation is also a good question. Wholesome deeds is committed verbally, physically, mentally. Our meditation, when we have wholesome deeds, thoughts, words and deeds, and deed doesn't appear automatically without thoughts. So we mentioned earlier, when we meditate, what we do, we go to the root of deed, that is the mind. We go to the mind. And we have to pay attention to the mind to see whether greed, hatred or delusion or non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion arises in the mind. And this can, we can do this while sitting, standing, walking, lying down, talking, eating, drinking, answering the call of nature, bathing and going to sleep, lying down, any time, in any posture. We train the mind again and again and again to look at our mind. We look at our mind. When we look at our mind, any given moment, if we find greed, we immediately eliminate it because greed never brings happiness. If hatred arises at that time, we immediately get rid of hatred because hatred never brings happiness. If delusion arises in mind, we must get rid of delusion at that very moment because a delusion can never bring us happiness. Instead, if we experience any moment letting go, thought of renunciation, thought of generosity, we cultivate it. We cultivate the thought of generosity to the extent that we will be able to overcome all our possibility of committing karma. And that is, as I mentioned, that is how our non-arising cessation takes place. That means when something ceases, it doesn't arise again at all. Until such moment, we cultivate our letting go. Letting go. When that root or seed of that thought arises in the mind at any given moment, we cultivate it. That is meditation. Similarly, when hatred non-hatred or metta, loving friendliness arises in the mind, we cultivate it. We keep repeating it again and again, again and again. And when we see impermanence, non-delusion means seeing impermanence. Delusion always invariably refers to non-seeing impermanent nature, not seeing anicca. Anicca. Not seeing impermanence is delusion. If any moment a thought of permanency arises in the mind, we immediately get rid of it, seeing that it is impermanent. Now this is how we practice meditation every day. And this meditation helps us slowly and gradually to overcome, get rid of and liberate ourselves from greed, hatred and delusion. Then attain full enlightenment. So the goal of meditation is liberating the mind from greed, hatred and delusion and attaining full enlightenment. That is the goal. Although it's a very lofty, powerful goal, we can reach that goal, we can achieve that goal by chipping off our defilements little by little, little by little, and cultivating also uda bindu nipatena, uda kombopi purati dhiro punyasa toka tokampi achinam, said the Buddha. Drop by drop by drop, the pot is filled with water. Drop by drop. So we practice meditation every moment, every day. Whenever we remember to practice it, we practice, and that will add up to reach the perfect state of mind without greed, hatred, and delusion. So the meditation always helps us to liberate the mind from samsaric suffering and attain liberation. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, Bhante. Bhante, during the retreat, you mentioned letting go once there is understanding. I think that what you said is after winning, you let it go. Once you gain it, let it go. Can you please comment on this a bit more? Thank you for your generosity.
Okay. Even the other day during the monastic retreat, I said, I recited the stanza, Kumbhupamang khai memang viditva, Nagarupamang chittamidan tapetva, Yodheta marang panya yudena, Jitancha rakke anivesano siya. Seeing the body like a clay pot, seeing the mind like a city, using the weapon of wisdom, defeat the Mara. After defeating Mara, you gain some spiritual state. But that spiritual state that you gain, also you should let go. That means you should not hang on to it thinking that this is mine, this I am, this is myself. So, whenever you gain, of course we know in the material sense, in material world, when you gain something, you hold on to it. When you gain some knowledge, you hold on to it. When you gain some property, you hold on to it. When you fight a war, you gain certain areas, so you hold on to it, put it, establish a garrison, the army, to protect it from the enemies coming back and retaking the place. So you protect it. That is in the material world, in the material gains. But we have to let go of that. And the Buddha said even the mental state, virtual state, pure, clean state, we should not hold on to it thinking that this is mine. And Buddha said in Alagadupama Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, Dhammo pi bhikkhave pahatabbo phageva adhammo. Because even the Dhamma, wholesome Dhamma, should be given up, let alone unwholesome Dhamma. Meaning, both wholesome and unwholesome state of mind you gain, don't try to hold on to it thinking that this is mine. What it means is, don't try to possess it thinking that it is mine. Look at it as ne tang mama, ne sohamasim nemeso. This is not mine. We must always gain something spiritually without thinking this is my gain, my success. But you see the gain just as gain, success as success, without having a person or individual or entity that possesses that gain, that power, that attainment. That is a very subtle mental state. Not ordinary people can have that wisdom. As we keep practicing, we will see that in our own mental state. It is happening to us. To anybody who practices Dhamma, practices meditation with understanding can see this happening in that person's mind. Okay, this is how we let go of what we gain. Okay?
Bhante, could you please indicate which sutta from Majjhima Nikaya this is belonging to? In particular, this teaching that you just gave, which particular sutta can we find this in?
In Samyutta Nikaya?
Majjhima Nikaya.
That is called Alagadupama Sutta. Alagadupama Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya.
Thank you.
Alagadupama Sutta, you can see, I think Sutta number 30, no, Sutta number 22. Sutta number 22, Alagadupama Sutta. Okay? Any other question? We have 3 more minutes.
Okay, a quick question is more about practice. This person has heard that a lot of teachers just advise to let go of persistent, unwholesome thoughts. And this person is trying to do this. She's been trying to do this for a long time, but they still keep coming back, those kind of thoughts. They still feel like they're struggling with asaras, but they're a little bit weakened with the practice, and the sense of self is still present. The question is, what should the person do? Just persevere, accepting that this is part of dukkha, part of being born, that this struggle is ongoing. What's your advice?
My advice is you have to, in the first place, you have to have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, strong faith. Second, you have to make effort to overcome this thought arising. Third and most effective is to see impermanence. Especially in Vipassana meditation, seeing impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness of the body, feeling, perception, thought and consciousness. You are talking about the thought. Thought also is impermanent. Whatever thought arises in the mind, it is impermanent. Whether the thought is wholesome or unwholesome, it is impermanent. Thought of your various things, memories, planning, and so forth, all are impermanent. So you have to see impermanence in all these things very clearly in order to get rid of this. That happens while it is happening. You see the impermanence is happening. Whenever something arises, something happens in the mind, what you really see happening is impermanent, rising and falling, rising and falling, rising and falling. That is what you have to remember. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.